That was T1 versus SANDBOX game number 1, and we're back with 2020 LCK Spring Split Analyst Desk. T1 had a game, a perfect one. They had a very powerful draft in the beginning too. So they had a very late game scaling comp, but they were winning really hard in the early phase. So they blind picked Karma. So, Lyra actually expected SANDBOX to ban out Karma and take Yuumi. However, they opened Karma for T1, so they let them have the Ezreal and Karma, the powerful comp in the bot lane. So Ezreal with the range support has to win lane, and T1 really understood this matchup well, so they just easily won lane and snowballed throughout the game. Olaf, Ezreal, and Karma. Well, this is a really strong comp, but maybe SANDBOX failed to predict this coming in for game number 1, and they also had a very huge accident in that blue buff invade. So they even had top laners for this blue buff early invade, so it was more like a 5v5 or like 4v4 fight in a 1 and 2 minute mark of the game. But we have to see that Summit doesn't have TP, but still Kana has TP, and he also found a huge crowd control in that fight, so T1 already won game over there, and at the same time Kana could just TP back for lane. So he did not lose any CS and he got all the XP, but Soraka, Summit had to walk all the way through the jungle and he wasted so many XP and minions over there. Because, well, Soraka players always take barrier for laning phase, so this TP priority also had huge impact for SKT or T1. So, well, SANDBOX should just win that fight around blue buff or make a quick decision to just send Summit over the top side, but they failed to execute any one of those play, and Kana with that winning laning phase, he could just simply just walk down to the jungle or the river and check if the blue buff is okay and also clear that vision. A lot of people often say that jungle difference is a byproduct of the laner's difference, and actually this game was the answer of that statement. Because all three laners were actually outplaying in each lane, well, SANDBOX could just had to lose. And also T1 players, they were all on the same page, pulling off the setup plays. Moving on, we want to check out another highlight. That T1, how well they play on the edge. Teddy and Faker together, they look so powerful because especially Faker on LeBlanc, he really knows how to play on the edge. He always takes so many aggro and walks out alive. And also Teddy, when he's ahead and when he knows that he has this power spike, he just always dash forward and puts so much pressure to the enemies. So Miss Fortune did not have flash over there, and also Soraka had to use his wish in the earlier phase. Well, it was actually already decided result that T1 will win that fight. So T1 with a very clean win, a perfect game. They already are already in the lead. Then let's check out who will be the player of the game on the side of T1. Effort on Karma. With the level 1 fight actually opened a huge gap between SANDBOX and T1, which can also mean this is a byproduct of letting the Karma through the pick and ban phase, and Effort picked it up. This time around, actually, the analysts were really curious how well T1 will play around the bot side, taking that Rage AP champion rather than initiative champion. And T1 definitely showed how powerful they are when they also take a lane priority champs.
아무래도 저희 분석 데스크가 로랄못이었다는 것을 이렇게 여실히
So,
드러내는 그런 장면이
Effort picked
아니었나
up 4
싶습니다.
votes for this POG,
네트로 에포트 선수가
and Faker also got 3,
가져갔습니다.
and Teddy and
저는 이제
Kana
샌드박스가
1 votes
계속해서 무너지는 모습이
from our English
사실
casters.
그 이전에 캐스파컵이나 그
Well,
이전부터
earlier,
팬분들은 정말
this spring split, or even before the spring split, SANDBOX was really popping off in Caspa Cup. They were really promising, you know, their performance was on point. They were the runner-ups, but this time around, SKT got their revenge on game number 1. I think this is time SANDBOX to find their strength and capitalize it throughout the split. But it doesn't really sound that easy because T1 is also stepping up every day by day. So let's check out what will happen in game number 2.
Thank you, Ji-sun, for that wonderful translation of the analyst's desk. Obviously, Effort getting the player of the game was not something we expected, as at least he only got 4 out of 9, as there were 3 and 3 split.
The observers really swung that.
Yeah, I know. They really
support
did.
Mains. The only thing that we can really go with there, as that was... I could understand the Faker one. He did get the wish out of Soraka, if you recall. Before
Yeah,
the
and he was very dominant.
He was very dominant. He ended up winning in CS, even after donating CS to Olaf at the super early stages. So,
you know, honestly, Karma really shielded them well. She put a lot of shields on, and she casted her Q. So, obviously, was the one that made the difference in that game. So
I did
really
ask how much they paid you.
I mean, I gotta stay on brand here, you know.
All right. Well,
that will be forever a mystery.
Yeah.
I don't know if, you know, maybe we'll hear the explanation later. But either way, we are going to be jumping into pick ban for game number 2.
Senna and Ezreal now being banned away by SANDBOX. T1 banning away Aphelios. And Ornn now going to be banned away by T1. Will SANDBOX actually want the Soraka? Although I have a pretty strong feeling that Summit could just actually think to himself, no, I need a carry champion if we're going to try to win. Not a... Well, Soraka is a hyper carry, just not in the way that Summit is able to carry games. So the champion herself is a carry. Summit is a player carry, so probably wants to get his hands on something that is going to allow him to influence the game a bit more. And maybe T1 even actually ban away the Soraka. No, they don't. They
Olaf stronger. Now, this could be an opportunity to pick them up, the Soraka, but knowing SANDBOX and the way that it went for Summit in Game 1, I think they are probably just going to look over this and try to pick up the MF.
And right now, MF might get locked in. And now T1 have the opportunity to actually pick the Soraka, but instead, electing for Set. So let's see what they end up pairing this with. Now with Senna, Ezreal, and Aphelios all banned away and MF picked, there's no reason to really pick the ADC early because it makes the pool still pretty difficult to assess if it goes to the second ban phase. And so you can sort of just bide your time as they pick up Gragas, one of the best junglers in the current meta. SANDBOX now have to decide how they want to respond here.
They do have the opportunity to pick up Soraka once again. If they wanted to go for that, they could even pick up Yuumi, but no Olaf means that I feel like the Korean teams won't put as much priority on those healing champions. And as I mentioned before, I think they're going to look for something new for Summit, as Jarvan will be picked up here. Oh, okay.
Wow.
All right.
Summit is putting his faith in the light, but
that's
I'm not a...
That's Uther.
Yeah.
Not Soraka.
No, it's Tyrion.
Oh, it's Tyrion, right?
I
Sorry.
thought you play WoW. Well, I'm the lore guy.
Yeah,
Lore
no,
specialist.
It's from that, that card game.
I'm lore specialist, so.
Oh, lore specialist, right?
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
true. That's true.
I get it. Took you some time.
Yeah, okay. Azir.
Azir coming in now. 4 T1. And now we're moving into the second ban phase. And honestly, I mean, T1 might not be too afraid of anything. They might ban Syndra, but probably wouldn't matter all that much. Okay, they ban away the Zoe from Dove. Another champion that actually can do somewhat well against Azir. And we'll see what the second ban is going to be. It's going to be Kalista taken away, so potentially not wanting to fight against the R4 Kalista, R5 Taric. That could be a combo that T1 could have opted into. And now maybe SANDBOX also ban away the Lucian, although that would be a very peculiar pick to see down in the bot lane. And if that does end up happening, I'm expecting more of a Hyper to end up coming out, but we could see Caitlyn. So, okay, 580 carry bans.
Yeah.
Kai'Sa being picked up. Oh, no.
Ooh.
Swapped over to Varus. Vayne now. Everyone's getting a little bit of a hover here. As Teddy maybe feeling like Kai'Sa is good here.
Well.
Nope, gonna actually go to Varus. This is just so that they can R5.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Got debated.
Oh, debated so hard. Good job by Teddy. He got us all. Kai'Sa's only seen 5 games. 3 and 2. Pretty rare nowadays.
Yeah.
But they already have a nice amount of CC in their composition.
She is getting buffed, I believe, in patch 10.5, which is weeks away from debuting in the LCK, so this is currently the weaker version of her. SANDBOX now, though, with an Echo. And this is one of the rough things where they have to go in blind. Now, we might just see something like Nautilus here, or we might even just see a Braum or something. Yeah, there we go. Let's get it out of the way. Yeah.
The naughty list.
The naughty list.
Yeah, exactly. That's him.
I see what you did there.
And yeah, he will pick up that naughty pick.
Now,
As what will it be responded to? How about a mage support that can heal? Thinking about Yuumi.
as Yuumi wouldn't be super awful, but Morgana is also just really effective in this spot. Taric, not that bad either. And I really like this. I like this growing trend of supports that just offer their team a lot more than the blind pick tank support that only functions in a vacuum for what it's trying to achieve. And here, this is going to be the final team compositions. I would say SANDBOX are going to find themselves on the receiving end of a worse draft edge than game number 1. I think T1's team composition overall has a lot more modes inside of it, and the Gragas even has a lot of value at reaching that back line.
Yeah.
And honestly, all the pressure here comes onto Dub's Echo and what it's going to be able to achieve.
Well, you've seen Echo do well into the Azir. If you get Emperor's Divided or you get in a risky spot against his lane matchup, you can just press that R button, rewind, get out of there. They're going to have a nice amount of healing and engage on the back of it. But as you mentioned, if Dove gets behind and it's only Leo that's doing decent damage, they really don't have all that much to offer. So I think it does require them to have at least an even early game. Whereas team fights galore on the other side and a nice amount of scaling with the Kai'Sa Azir. Kind of like T1's comp.
Yeah. It's definitely well-rounded, very balanced in nature. But there's less room for aggression early on out of this team composition. So
True.
We'll see how it fares. That just means that we're brewing for another perfect game.
We're lulling
We're lulling. Oh.
Yeah, we're lulling.
I see what you did there.
Lulling slowly, as if you could lull fast.
Was that like a play on LS again? Or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
oh, you got me.
It just seems to go with.
I just do them along the cast. Like, I
Yeah.
wonder how many people actually pick up on, because some of them are really obvious, like Larry Seinfeld's, right? I mean, if you say Larry Seinfeld on a League of Legends cast, they're going to know, right? It's LS.
I just want to give credit to Summit. He has the Gathering Storm on the Soraka
Whoa.
instead of the Scorch, which only Sinners end up picking.
Actually, nobody was sinning this time around. Nobody
No
had
one's
Scorch.
sinning. Yeah, no one's sinning in this set. And I don't mean set the champion.
Yeah, oh.
You know.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
I was a little bit confused there.
Yeah, thinking one can NA up there in top lane on set.
Nice little ward place down here. Lots of high win rate champions here on the side of T1. Cuz's Gragas, Faker's Azir amongst them. There's been a lot more level 1 shenanigans nowadays, especially with Olaf coming into a ton of the drafts. So a lot of teams like to invade with that kind of pick, and we don't get it here, but I do like how T1 kind of prepared for it if it did happen.
And we'll see what SANDBOX can end up doing. I think that this game is really a lot more in their court. Obviously, nothing super chaotic happening early on. Echo already down a potion. Nothing's happened. A little curious how that ended up transpiring.
Well,
Jarvan,
he's playing against Azir, level 2.
with the red into blue, we see this all the time. And really, as you're pathing into the blue, you should be able to look at the lane states and know whether or not you need the duration for anything meaningful. Because otherwise, you just end up wasting it and having the blue buff just dissipate into nothingness. So definitely a bit peculiar how often we see these routes, especially against a champion like Gragas, which can't invade you early on.
Yeah, Gragas is doing the exact opposite and just saying, okay, I'm going to chill out in my jungle, farm every camp that I can, and that's about it. We return to this top lane except on even footing. Remember, game 1, because of the early game, Kana was able to get up there quicker with the teleport, whereas Summit had to walk all the way through the jungle, missed a bunch of CS and the XP there, so got behind early. But this time around, will be a different story.
And at this point, the junglers just completing their clears for the most part. Nothing too chaotic going on. Faker obviously not going to be able to achieve anything at this point against Dove in this lane, so a little surprising that he doesn't just instantly crash and try to recall. It's not quite a cheater recall, but still would be effective nonetheless. Gragas, coming off of a base now, has Predator Boots as well as Machete.
Yeah, he might be the first one to go for some action here, as he could be, or he could just be pathing over to Bertha, the red side Gromp, of course. Everybody knows her name, very famous.
She is.
She is quite famous. And another thing to talk about is in the mid lane here, Faker is nearing 2,000 kills in the LCK.
He's not getting it today.
Yeah, he got 0, I believe, in the first game, as he was 0-0-5, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Teddy did pick up the kill onto the Lee Sin right at the end of the game.
And
Getting
he
the
was
confirmation.
0-0-5.
Yes, he was. So no kills added to that. So if he wants to get it here and they want to win in game 2, he needs to get 15 kills in one game. AKA it's not happening. Unless they go to a game 3, which could happen.
What if Faker goes for the big 5-head?
and ints to
Yeah.
get to a game 3.
Gets like 7 kills this game and then ints to get to game 3.
Yeah, just runs it down.
Yeah. That would really just be the play.
He should have picked Omni Stone.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a...
That would have definitely been the play.
I think that was the correct play in this case. You were talking about patches. We are going to have 10-3 next week, almost definitely.
What? We're having 10-3 again? What?
Oh, not 10-3, 10-4.
Oh, you were looking at me like I was
So
weird,
you're giving
but
me a face. I'm like, what? What's wrong?
yeah.
10-3.
We're just permanently in 10-3.
Yeah. And then the next week, we're going to have 10-3 and then 10-2
Yeah.
for the playoffs.
What was your favorite patch ever?
10-3. No, the one where I was able to abuse Corki and Orianna to get to Diamond 4. What patch was that? I think it was 2017.
Yeah. It was 2017. So it must be what? 7-2?
7-2, 7-1.
7-2, 7-3.
Yeah.
Somewhere around that period.
Yeah, that was my favorite patch.
Yeah. Okay.
Very, very good memories. I only had 2 picks. Corki
My
or
favorite
Orianna.
patch was the Marksman patch that actually mixed up and changed the game.
That's
I think
a good
that's
choice.
actually a very underappreciated patch.
Maybe.
Even though there was a lot of animosity towards it when it first came out.
Yeah.
But I think that patches like that are awesome. Because it really does just mix up the game. There's probably a lot of disdainment towards that. but
Disdainment?
yeah.
Whoa.
You like that?
Yeah. You're so lyrically sound. How can I compete?
We should just make up words, by the way, in the future. It's a thing. We just have to... I found out that in order to have a word be eligible to become a word in the dictionary, you just need a large amount of people to acknowledge what it means and then use it. And I feel like combined
The collective.
with the collective...
Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah.
We could create a new word if it got popular enough.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about this before, about the collective and how there's so many different emotes that have just seemingly nonsense names that it's kind of like a different language, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the collective.
What does Monka really mean?
Yeah, is that
hold
like
on.
a language? Okay, Effort is going to not flash and decide he would rather accept his fate than to than to burn his flash or his exhaust.
Yeah.
He says, "No, I'm dead. Take me with you." As a fight up in the top side, we got a big boy coming on down here. Gets the fat flash. Speaking of which, that's not gonna stop. Oh, okay. Good try on the dodge, but you're almost definitely dead. Gonna be pulled back, has the barrier. But with the slow here, guys. Guys! No! No! Okay, they're gonna give the kill to Azir. Right?
They?
Right? You're gonna...
Life is like
Hello?
a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
That was the most ridiculous chase I've ever seen. What was that?
Oh man. Oh, Forrest Gump. What a great movie. Oh man.
She just kept running, man.
All right.
Almost got away there at the end.
Well. Effort.
Okay.
Flashing away.
That's why he saved his flash earlier. Because he knew this was going to happen. He's
Yeah.
actually such a god. He can read the future.
Yeah. And Dub taking actually a really hard trade against Faker. And now stunning up the spellcasters. He didn't like them very much. As let's take a look at this. On Fleek comes in here and flashes in for the EQ, and Effort not flashing away, as you mentioned. Just accepting his death. Probably valued his flash for a better time in the future, but then ended up having to use it just moments ago in order to survive. As Kana again with the Boots of Swiftness tech here against Soraka allows him to actually stay on her and get some value. As the kill score is even right now at 10.5 minutes. And Summit is I think he's actually not giving up any minions due to the size of the minion wave. Okay, one melee ended up dying.
Not a huge deal there.
Yeah.
And by the way, Faker got the 1 kill. So they're really trying to boost up his stats. Yeah, 14 away now.
And at this point, Summit, ooh, trying to sustain through the lane, walks into it.
What an
A bit of
alpha
a
move.
Yeah, what a bit of a masochist. Right there. What? He
Look
is
at him
not
go.
moving. He is refusing to move.
He's so angry.
Yeah, he is furious right now. As mid is, it's in a bit of a ping pong state at the very end of it. I mean, Infernal Drake is coming up in 10 seconds, and T1 are clearly in priority for that. And Sandboxing are noping straight out of it, initiating a lane swap. They are the ones with the Rift Herald, and so they're going to bring on Fleek top lane, summon the Rift Herald, and try to get all 5 plates top. But in doing so, they're going to give up plates bottom, they're going to give up the Infernal Dragon. And Summit now down in bot lane. He does have Wish available, but without his flash, he has to be so careful. You know that Gragas is in close proximity, and this isn't even really a... we're not summoning the Rift Herald yet.
They're going to save it, I suppose.
Saving it for next game. Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just waiting for the initial turret plates to go down. I believe those give a bit of extra armor. So you want to take those down so the Rift Herald can try to knock it out as soon as possible. Summit, can they kill him faster this time is the real question. He's going to go straight into the wall with that cast. The Wisp will come out as Summit stands tall again. Trying to get bursted down here. One more auto would do it as they're going to give the kill to Faker again.
Yep.
They are really trying to get him fed in this game and get him kills.
They're trying to help him achieve his goal clearly, as 13 kills away is Faker from that milestone. 3.5 minutes until another Mountain Drake. So we're going to have 2 Mountain Souls back to back.
Yeah. Interesting. We had so many Cloud Souls in a row that I became numb to the idea that we could have anything else. Nice cast from Cuz here. Just knocks him into the wall, but again, it's Soraka. So it'll take a little bit of extra effort to give over the kill.
Effort's not on the screen, Valdez.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I get it. You can mix that up sometimes.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
It's T1, so I just assumed, right, bottom lane effort.
Yeah. I get it. Not a big deal.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
As Kana, maybe making Summit think that there was a superplex potential into a Gragas, as he did a little ring around the rosy there on the turret. 3 minutes until the Mountain Drake comes up. SANDBOX are actually in the gold lead right now, and I do believe Soraka should have her first item completed at that fight. And so T1 is going to be on, for the most part, relatively even footing against SANDBOX's team composition. And this early on, Soraka's heals are going to be really, really oppressive in this team fight until the Executioner's Calling as well as the Morellos can start coming out from the side of T1.
Total gold here. No surprise that Faker is going to be number 1 as he's been fed a couple of kills already. It's good to get your scaling champions to get all the kills because they scale even faster. There's less of a power trough, as we were talking about a bit yesterday with all of the Caitlyn that was being played. Kana seems extremely comfortable in this lane against the Soraka, by the way, especially after the laning phase.
Just keeps making use of that rage passive. You can see it trying to utilize it to get onto Soraka, not finding any success with it. No turret plates remaining, so not a lot of stuff going on here.
I see what you did. A lot of stuff. I caught that one. That was like a secret. That was like an expert version.
Yeah, a little secret.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, at the end of it all, Kana trying to get another trade onto Soraka here. Not going to end up finding it.
Yeah, this game lacks substance, don't you think?
I definitely do.
Not that many kills so far. I think we need some more action.
Yes.
And
Mountain is going to give it to us in about 45 seconds.
I'm a little sleepy, so I'm really trying my best to, you know, stay alive.
I guess.
Mountain Soul coming up here. The teams are even on gold as the macro went a little bit in favor of SANDBOX with the Rift Herald. But it's not a big enough difference to really make a huge difference once we do get down to the team fight. It's really going to be up to who opens the fight and who can actually get the advantage there. We saw T1 absolutely crack the game open big time in game number 1 in that manner.
Yeah. And Mountain Drake is live right now. Soraka is present at this fight. So, very different from game... Well, okay, OnFleek is taking a lot of damage. That's also going to deplete some of the fuel that Summit has available. You might be able to replenish her right back up if he lands one Q, but ended up blowing the silence. And now they're struggling to get into mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to get back here. As you can see, they're going to clear out the wave. A lot of poke comes out of T1, but with the Soraka, you'll feel pretty good in these sustained fights as they'll look to turn the corner here. Potentially engage on Fleek, waiting in the brush that he finally cleared out the vision in.
It's a really hard spot right now for T1 because you don't want to just give up this Mountain Soul for free against this type of a team composition, because they flourish on sustained team fights, and any amount of extra resistances just makes it that much more difficult to chew through.
Okay, Dove pushing bottom side, considering collapsing as T1, but it will just crash the minion wave. I like what OnFleek does there. He aggroes the Drake and makes Kana walk away just to de-aggro it. There's a bit of damage. We have the open up here as Gorilla just gonna disappear. Thought the Aftershock would keep him alive, but it did not. Cosmic Radiance will be used here, and the denial on the EQ. A stopwatch again, pretty good item, but can he survive here? Looks like the answer is yes. As Echo's just pushing the bottom lane, not even concerned with the fight.
Yeah. And Gorilla dying. Just really unfortunate right there. They also didn't get to utilize the Jarvan Soraka combo. You want to talk about an actual death sentence? That is a imprisonment to new degrees. Mordekaiser gets a little jealous when he sees that one. Cataclysm into Soraka silence. There's literally nothing you can do. As T1, they pick up the first Mountain Drake. Now, their champions don't really build resistances, so only gonna really get value out against the Jarvan and the Misfortune. Everyone else that deals magic damage, you barely get any amplification to your magic resistance stat. But if T1 gets all three, that can be pretty good.
Yeah, it's obviously a big difference once that does come in, as players will get that shield with the Mountain Soul. As Shirley's going to be ignored here by T1. They give that one away. Feels like a more even game this time around, as T1 have a later game composition, and they can't exactly blow the game wide open like they did in game number 1 as fast.
And Kana just running away from Soraka. Has the Trinity Force. We'll see if he continues with the same itemization this time around, and also check how this all transpired.
As he just gets pretty much obliterated in the span of about 0.75 seconds. No need to flash, no need to do anything. Faker able to get that down. And at the end of the day, all you're gonna get is a stopwatch. It's a pretty good item, that one.
It is.
You can pick it up in the runes for free, in fact.
A bit of an interesting thing going on here is Kana is not opting into the Titanic Hydra this time around. And I do wonder if it's because of the Mountain Drake giving him amplification in his resistances, because it looks like he's going Stone Plate, second item on set here. And if we're looking at this game in a bit of a vacuum, there's even more of an argument for the Executioner plus Titanic combo against some of the champions on SANDBOX. So definitely a bit of change here, coming out here.
Yeah, he, I don't know. It's kind of interesting how he makes those decisions. He was looking sparkly clean with his item choices in game number 1, but not the case here. Push coming in, they're gonna get the stun down. This time there's no stopwatch to save you, as the Cosmic Radiant's gonna deny so much of that damage. Big Echo stun, but in will go on Fleet. They should be able to burst him down, and down he goes. Effort frontlining here, trying to get it going as Teddy is in the back line. Is gonna pick up that Soraka. Dub nearly able to take out the support, but just barely not able to. Couldn't even do that with the Echo, as 4-0 is the way that team fight will end up.
And that was just an absolute dismantling of SANDBOX in this team fight. T1 now turning their sights onto the Baron. Summit does not have teleport. He's piloting the Soraka here. Dove very low on resources, not going to be able to do anything. So he's going to try to attack Baron indirectly by trying to remove as many minion waves from the map as possible, as this game is really just looking like all she wrote. Dove comes over the wall, finds no blue buff, and gonna end up killing a Scuttle Crab.
Nice little consolation prize.
Yeah.
For the way this game has gone, just like that, it's blown open in one fell swoop, and you can see they're just so invested in pushing this mid-tier 1, and that's what gets them caught. Taric into Gragas.
Just a really nice combo. Unfortunately, the camera angles on this replay does make it a little difficult to talk about some of the stuff that's going on, but you can just see the collapse as SANDBOX are just really too overextended for what they were trying to achieve, and they just could not do anything inside of this team fight. As the Mecha Kingdom set just dancing at the end there. You can find that skin for yourself if you're a set player in the Riot store.
Yeah, probably not that expensive. I'd definitely check it out.
Yeah, I would. Okay, that's a very fast attack speed on Azir. He looks very angry.
Slippery guy, able to get out. Kana, and one by one, the turrets will fall here, as it feels like they've certainly broken the spirits of SANDBOX, but not only that, as now with this massive lead with Baron and a fed Azir, he's having a pretty good time. Made sure to go for that Morellonomicon, as he's going up against a ton of healing on the enemy team. I like how Faker didn't just blow his Emperor's Divide right away early on in that fight. He waited until a more opportune moment later on, and it actually was big, as it netted 1.5 more kills. I think one guy was probably going to die anyway, but secured the 1 kill and opened up another one. And that's really how you have to clean the enemy team very early on if you want to take Baron. And that's how it happened, as, oh boy, he's going to just get dumped by Cuz, and down he will go, smited to death. As that's a nice little Cataclysm plus the bullet time, but it's not enough damage. They're too far behind. Maybe we can kill Faker, they scream, as Faker just laughs in their face. They'll kill Effort somehow. But that is going to be it, as Dove is going to be, once again, the only person alive on his team, just kind of running around in circles.
I think I just turned back around. Dove was asking the ref how far back his ultimate goes. Can maybe restart the match.
Look at Gragas, he's got his hands in the air when he was stunned in the Echo Sphere. Well, T1 are really not wasting any time with their leads either. They say, well, there's not much the enemy team can do to us now. We're going to take out 1 inhibitor. Faker going to come down here and take a 4th of this turret's health down. T1, 9,000 gold ahead. They're making this look like not much of a contest.
And just this dive here, really nice.
Clean.
Animation canceling by Cuz on this Gragas. Effort getting hit by the turret. Superplex coming in by Set. Gorilla throwing an anchor that just missed.
Oh, the Ignite is what killed him.
Rob.
Gorilla picked up the kill, so he's doing work.
No kills for Faker. Oh, well, Faker has 3 kills actually, so 12 more.
12 more. And they're not going to be coming today.
No.
So the next time you can watch T1 is not going to be this week, actually. It'll be next Thursday against Africa. So perhaps then Faker can get his 12 extra kills. Still a chance here to get some more.
And Cuz just soloing this Mountain Dragon. Not really sure how much amplification he's going to give. 5 armor and 2 magic resistance. Picked up by Kaisa.
Nice.
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 Nice. Yeah.
That was good.
They're pushing in here. They don't have Baron, but they have still a nice amount of poke with Faker. It's quite fed, and look at Kana. Love the way he's playing this. Bit of an engage onto him, but down 3 levels is on Fleek. It's going to pull the team on over. They have Echo for wave clear. MF not so bad at the same time. But just the slow, methodical push returns here for T1. As once again, should be another clean win for this team. Effort's been all over this Jarvan, by the way. Dove nearly gets taken out here, at least forced into that ultimate. The Gragas, can he survive? The Cosmic Gradients comes down at the end. They will secure the inhibitor. And because they don't have a Baron, Baron's coming up in 40 seconds, they're just gonna back away with a little extra objective, some more gold in their pockets to buy some items for the next fight.
Yeah. So they're just playing it very slow and steady as they recall one more time. Next team fight, likely going to end up deciding this game entirely. Baron up in 20 seconds. Dove maybe looking like he wants to try to chase down Cuz, but that is not going to be a very wise choice. As
that's a good support effort. Move to the side so that the Dazzle wouldn't still the little popcorn chickens. Steal, rather. And Teddy's going to eat all of those. He's 5-0 and 5. Getting pretty full. He's got a bunch of items. I guess he's going for Gunblade next.
I'm a little surprised that more players didn't actually pick up Grievous Wounds on their team.
We can't see Teddy's W, by the way. I don't know what's going on. It's the second time that's happened. I assume that's a spectator bug. If it wasn't just a spectator bug, you bet the players would have paused already, so don't worry about it, guys. Just a bit annoying for us on our end. Baron will easily disappear from the map.
And now with the Baron, this should be the Doom push. 10,000 gold up, 2 Mountain Dragons and Infernal. And all that T1 really needs to do here is orchestrate a pretty simple 4-1-0. 4 top, 1 mid. Faker trying to poke down just a little bit.
Summit on the Soraka must feel pretty sad. Wasn't able to carry on anything more aggressive today. Just had to sit up there, go 0 and 4, and not be too much of a factor. I mean, saved a lot in the early game. This little skirmish is going on here as the ultimate comes out from Dove. Relatively low cooldown on that one, so he's looking to have that open for the next fight. Flash on the Faker here. They're trying to get on top of him. Do they have the damage? Yes, they will take out Faker. But is that enough as Teddy goes in with a massive shield? And the rest of the team is going to body slam their way into the back line as Kana's going to do it too. And Effort's not even paying attention to the enemy. He's taking down the objectives as down will go the Nexus here. Faker not going to get any more kills, but T1 will as they take the 2-0 victory over the side of SANDBOX as clean as you would like.
And, I mean, it was just a pretty impressive stomp. 2-0 Knight, 4T1. Oh, this was a double 2-0.
Yeah, double 2-0.
This is very rare in the LCK.
I know. Doesn't happen very often.
As this game is pretty nice showing out of T1. SANDBOX continues their descent into madness As Summit, he's really trying to even just be a team player here with the Soraka, not going on the most conventional of carry picks that you would expect out of him. And I'm trying to think of who to give the MVP to. And
I chose Effort because he was dazzling. Get it? He dazzled with this Taric.
Okay.
Honestly, he did create a lot of the plays, but I understand if you want to go for someone else. When it's extremely one-sided like this, I feel like it's much harder to pick one certain player.
It's very difficult.
Feels like it's just a team effort. Like everybody played well on the side of T1. Well, as you were going to go for the Faker vote. Not a bad one indeed. I feel like that's always a safe choice. You wouldn't want to be ridiculed by your peers. But yeah, I mean, he had a great game on the Azir. Obviously, had a couple of nice flashy plays, so I don't mind that one either. Feel like honorable mention to Cuz, had a couple of really clean engages.
Yeah.
Casts were good. Good ganks as well. He created offense in the top side, created it in the bottom side. Wherever Soraka was, he was kind of stalking her through all the different lanes and did a good job as well. Like I said, I feel like everybody had their own, play of the game, I suppose you could say.
Yeah, they really did.
This is my favorite effort highlight.
As Summit right here underneath the turret gets pinned against the wall by Cuz. And Teddy making quick work of him with the assistance of Faker.
Yeah. I almost voted for Teddy too. He did nice.
Teddy did do really good. Right here, lots of damage, ends up coming out Taric ultimate as well, and then Faker goes for the Azir play.
And for this, he was granted a stopwatch. Good item, by the way.
Yeah, pretty good item.
I'm happy about that item. This is Effort's big play. Honestly, after seeing these highlights, I kind of want to rescind my vote and give it to Cuz.
You know what? Cuz, I think, does make a pretty strong case as well.
Yeah.
Cuz was my other vote under Faker. Yeah. And, I mean, overall, it was just very good cohesion by T1 in this series. And they're continuing to ramp up throughout Spring and really just stabilize and cement themselves as the pretty strong contender for who's going to win this split. As final game team fight, they try to bring down Faker, not going to be able to locate him.
But they do get him in the end on that final team fight that was in the base. As we'll listen in.
이번에 보는 게 얘는 답이다.
벌려줄게.
나 묶였어. 이겨.
We have to go in now. We win. Take it slow. From the front. We got it. Hit the tower. That's Effort spamming tower. And he was the one guy hitting the tower. So nicely done. They do get the win here. Faker with a smile on his face even after he got caught out there a little bit. As, man, we were doing not much there for about 20-ish minutes, and then all of a sudden, T1 just started to bring down the house.
And, I mean, not much can really be achieved. Soraka with top damage again on the side of SANDBOX because of the dynamic of the lane that she's in. Other champions just really not able to do all that much. And if you're SANDBOX, these are the games that really lead you to question what you're doing. And these are the most painful ones because it just feels like nothing you're doing is working. And these are the most difficult to assess what is wrong because the people that have to be looking for what's wrong have to be able to go into the nitty-gritty and look at everything that surrounds the fine details. And it's a very difficult place to try to work your way out of. Cuz 5 out of 9.
Yeah,
votes.
and that's fair. You know,
Yeah.
after seeing the highlights, I'm like, yeah. In my memory, I was like, it felt like effort was engaging a lot of the fights, but honestly, I think that Cuz did deserve this one, so we get it right sometimes here at the LCK. As Cuz got 5 out of 9. Observer voted for top. One of the English casters voted for mid. One of them voted for support. You guys know who those were.
You and Atlas.
LS had an invisible vote for Cuz. One analyst also voted for top. So there were actually a couple of votes for Kana. That was another guy that I kind of had in the back of my mind, but I felt like he did much more carrying in Game 1 rather than Game 2. And there were other pogs here in this one. As whoa, welcome back.
Welcome back. We got no.
Your hair like flies over. It's great. You still got the gloves on.
I still do have the gloves.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
You know what? After today's builds, though, I might be able to just take them off.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Largely sanitary, but sometimes make exceptions.
Yeah.
I like that. So that was a pretty quick day today. I mean, it's only 9:40. We don't have any POG interviews, unfortunately, for this week, as that will continue into tomorrow and Sunday. Hopefully, Mina is feeling better for next week, and we can get those going, and hopefully this Corona thing can stop, and we can move on with our lives. As we are going to look at the standings here. T1 will take first place for now. Gen G playing on Sunday against APK, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do end up tied up there towards the top once again. But we will have to wait until then. SANDBOX, unfortunately, you remember all of last year they were up there on the left side. They were competing in playoffs, and now 2-6. They really got to turn something around, because it's not only T1s and Gen Gs of the LCK that they're losing to, it's other teams when you're sitting at 2-6. So, unfortunate kind of situation for them.
And so we'll see how things are going to keep shaping up. Obviously, Afrika having a bit of turbulence lately. Damwon as well, still looking very, very shaky. It's mostly only the top 3 teams that are looking really stable and consistent. And here's tomorrow's matches. KT versus Hanwha Life to kick things off, and then to end it is Damwon versus Afrika.
Yes. And on paper, you might look at this and say, oh, the first one might just be a stomp. You know, Hanwha Life might just be better than KT. But KT's on a streak. They defeated 2 good teams in Afrika and SANDBOX. Well, I don't know about SANDBOX. They're kind of struggling nowadays. But KT was at least able to go from not having a win to winning 2 in a row. So they're on a bit of a streak. And Hanwha Life just went off a loss. So who knows about that. Damwon comes off a win. Afrika struggling a little bit. I feel like those 2 matches tomorrow should be pretty even. What do you think, Ellis?
I think that both of these matches are going to be some of the closest that we've had. So
agreed.
Looking forward to it.
And thank you once again for joining us, guys. We will be here once again tomorrow, so join us then. Thank you. Good night.
And I am ready to take it on. You told me to be myself and never feel alone. You're all that I want, you're all that I need. If I was ever in the dark,